Hi YouTube, welcome to this next edition of making a Laravel 4 application. Just want to speak to you about configuring Laravel. Not a very big involved subject at the moment. Obviously we will keep coming back to configurations as the more that we develop our skills. But initially we want to set up a set of configurations, and more specifically a set of configurations just for this machine, which Laravel takes care of for us. So if we go to the Bootstrap folder first, you'll notice in here that we have start PHP, which we've talked about before, and in here I've put in my computer name into this local key value pair. Okay, so what's happening here is the app is being loaded into the app folder, app variable, sorry, and then in the environment we're detecting the environment with key value pairs, and you can add pairs to this. So we can call one dev, and that may be array http http 88.88.88.88. Not that that's a real IP address that I know of anyway, but so that's how it would detect that this is to do with dev. Okay, and you can add as many as you want, really. You can call one staging, and etc, etc. Okay, so but I'll just undo all that for now. We're just going to stick to local. We are going to make a local specific configuration. Okay, so in here we have app and we have config, and then we have all our different config files. Now these configuration files always just return an array. There's no class, there's no functions as such. It's just they just return arrays. Here we have all our aliases. These are namespaces which are related to well, I don't actually know if these are namespaces or folders, but it always you always match them up anyway. I will find out. Actually, I should know. But anyway, what we're more concerned about is database. I've set up a database, and I've set up a user and a password. Now, the problem I may have is that I could come into here. This is the default one. Default is MySQL. I have a MySQL database on this machine, and the problem could be is that I could have a username and password in here, but it would be different on my testing server or my staging server, and I would have to have two of these, and I would have to be careful not to overwrite, or you know, it's a lot of messing around, or I would have to sit and code something that would switch between different configurations, and that's not really ideal. So Laravel provides a way of organising this kind of stuff better. So if I double click this and open this, in here, if what's going to happen is if detect environment detects sees that the computer name with the machine that it's on exists, then it's going to get its configurations from the local directory first here in configuration. Okay, so rather than mess around with just these files, we can actually set our own ones up, which means we can ignore a lot of this to begin with, and we will touch on these as we go along. Okay, most of it you won't need to touch for the most part. So what we're going to do is I'm going to open the container folder here, and because I already have, if we see this is working at the moment, I'll just refresh that. Sorry, just accidentally paused myself there by clicking on that. So make a new folder, and we're going to call it local. So new folder, local, and I'm going to copy. Let's see. I'm going to copy what's inside the mail. Right. I might want to change this. Most definitely, whilst I'm using a local development server, and I think I'll probably want to change this as well. Compiled stuff, specified additional compiled. Okay, so I don't think anything else here needs to change for now. Let me just have a little think. No, we'll touch on things as we go along, but for now I think all I want is database and mail, and we'll even do mail in a future series. So let's just have database. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy my database file and stick it in my local folder, and that's what I'm going to do for everything. Every time I want to change a configuration, I'm just going to copy the default and put it in the folder that I want, and then when I move to a new server, I will make a new folder for that new environment, and then deal with the configurations in there. So I can close that down now. So let's just make sure we haven't broken anything. Nope, still working. And if we go to our local database, we can now set this up. Okay. Just one quick thing. You may have, if you're worried about this, don't be worried about this. Just think of it as if you've ever done include and then you've done, you know, file.php. It's a similar kind of thing, but we're just loading in the namespace, and a namespace can have classes in it. So this is the Illuminate Foundation namespace application, and that has a load of functions in there, and this is basically like folders inside memory, and it stops you from having conflicts. So you might have two vendor files from different parties, and they both might have a class called application, and if you loaded them both in just normally, like with just new and then the class name, then you're going to get conflicts. When this stops conflicts, so you can have classes with the same names in one application. So that's all that's for, and you'll get used to it. Okay, so it's just basically an organisational thing. It just assigns its own kind of section of memory. So getting on with this, the default is MySQL already, and my username is not root on this. My username is Laravel, surprise surprise, and the password is also Laravel. I'm going to save that file. I will stick with UTF-8, yes, and it is localhost, obviously. So let's see if anything broke. Nope. And that's me set up with the database. Basically, that's all logged in. I can show you that this indeed is a working database, and it has worked. You might not believe me at the moment, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just break this. So if I say echo, oh no, I don't want to do that. That was a silly thing to do. Go away, you. In this database, this is in my local one, so if I do something to break the application, you'll know that it's coming from here. So let's just echo you die and then exit. I think that should be, oh no, it doesn't break it. Let me see if that works in here. No, it doesn't. Okay, obviously that just doesn't kill it. Right. Let's try that. Let's try breaking it that way. Does that say? No, it just doesn't want to tell me. Okay. Well, that was a fail. But anyway, you'll see it working in the next video, and you will know that it's working when we come to make our first CRUD application, and we're just going to make a very simple CRUD application. CRUD is an acronym. It's C-R-U-D, and if you don't know what it means, well then you're going to have to wait till the next video. Trust me, it's going to blow your mind. Okay, so there we are. We've quickly covered configuring Laravel. Now go away.